All right, guys. So we have started recording.
Okay.
Welcome to our YouTube channel and
Our YouTube channel.
my YouTube channel. Oh
Okay.
yeah, ours, guys.
Uh,
Yeah, it's our YouTube channel. Okay, so we are making a video talking about college applications and the process, and we're gonna try to make this as comprehensible for anyone, for any background as possible. I don't know where to start.
Oh, you're the interviewer. You
Yeah.
should.
Oh, okay. I should know how to start.
It's
How
your
did I
channel.
apply to Harvard? How did I apply to Harvard? First of all, I had no idea how the application process worked. I finished high school in 2021, and when I finished high school, there was a program that's called Tujenge Africa Foundation, and I happened to have someone that went to my high school who did the same program, and I heard about the program through her, and she encouraged me to apply. So I applied for the program, and the program was really helpful when it came to like learning English. I did know a little bit of English, but us Burundians, we always say that we can hear, but we can't respond. Like we say, turavyumva gusa biratugora kuvuga, but in reality, I didn't know English. So I had to learn English for about 9 months before I could do tests on English proficiency tests. So I did Duolingo, and I did a lot of practice with TOEFL, and that was just like something that I'd been preparing for about 9 months, like learning how to type fast on a computer because we weren't lucky enough to grow up on computers, guys. I learned how to type after graduating. Anyway, so I had to do that. But that's just me because I wasn't from an English speaking country. So you do need tests that prove that you can actually speak English. So Duolingo or TOEFL, you need to do that before you can start with applications because many colleges do require you to submit results of your um, of your test. Usually they're like Duolingo, they'd be like minimum of 120, so you need to like be on the grind before you can think about applying and make sure you have those tests and good results. And please don't rush into doing the tests because they do check how many takes you've done. So if you do so many takes, they're like, yeah, like you did 5 takes to get 120. I don't think you're okay. That was my process. Did you guys have any experience coming from English speaking countries? Did you have to do any of the tests?
for me, I didn't
You
need to
didn't?
do an English speaking test specifically. I had to do the SAT.
SAT?
But
Do you
not.
want to tell us about the SAT?
Yeah, sure. So,
Don't put it too close.
uh, so I heard about the SAT when I was in my second year of high school, but then I hadn't like decided to apply to schools abroad, so I didn't take it seriously. So I only considered it after I had graduated high school, and I didn't like know what to do next. That is when I started preparing to take the SAT,
Okay.
and I think, I spent like 6 months or so preparing specifically for the SAT.
Wow. How much? Can you? How much did you get?
I got a 15-20.
Good.
Which I didn't think it was good enough to apply to like colleges in the US because applying as an international student, I mean, it's a competitive process, right? So I didn't
Oh.
think it was good enough. So I started like to, I started preparing to write another one in hopes I would get a higher score. But then I met someone who advised me that it was good enough, and that is when I started
Yeah, that
applying.
was good, man. Dang, girl. Wait, did you do SAT?
Yeah, I did the SAT, but then, okay, for me, like Kwame said, I think I spent like, because I also considered the SAT after graduating, and I was like in 2024, and then I spent like 3 months preparing for the SAT, and so for the SAT, I don't know, like I hadn't like, wow, the SAT was just interesting. But then I did the SAT, but then I also did Duolingo after doing the SAT, like after getting the results. Because in the SAT, like I loved the math section, but
Yeah,
then
math was really
um,
fun.
but then the English section wasn't as fun. So then, like when I got my scores, I was kind of like evaluating, and I was like, okay, like the math shows like aptitude, kind of like your efficiency in like the math, but the English wasn't showing up. But guys, I can speak the English, so I did Duolingo and I did really well in Duolingo. So
What
I
did
was
you
like,
get?
I got 150, which is like
Ooh.
near perfect score. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll just submit the Duolingo test scores like to supplement my SAT and show them that guys, I know English. I don't know the SAT vibes, but I do know.
Wait, did you do SAT?
I did not take the SAT. I took the ACT though.
What's ACT?
I mean, it's like
It's the other version.
it's the other version. It's like a different score system, but
Yeah.
similar.
36.
Yeah, it's like out of 36. And so like I did like a ACT prep class like the summer between my junior and senior year of high school. And it was like twice a week for like maybe 6 weeks or so. And then I took the ACT twice my senior year. And like they give you like a combined score or whatever. So that's why I did not take that. I did the SAT subject test and I did really bad on all of them. So I didn't actually submit those.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay, so SAT. You guys did SAT. What was the best way to prepare for SAT?
So prepare would be to just grind out practice exams.
Okay, write out practice exams. Is there any YouTube channel that helped you prepare or anything in that?
Uh, what I remember using the most was Khan Academy.
Oh yeah, same.
If you're watching this and you're like, what's my next step? I just finished high school. Well, one thing is that if you're in America, many people do the application process. What's the timeline like? When do most people apply to schools?
You apply your senior year, so you start preparing like the summer between your junior year and your senior year. And so for my school, because I went to a college prep school, our senior year English class required you to submit like a draft of like your essay to your English teacher, and so that they would give you feedback during like your first semester of school. And so if you're applying early, obviously you apply like in fall, winter, and if you're applying for regular, you apply. Was it January? I actually have
Yeah.
no clue.
Yeah, they didn't say
So you
yeah.
kind of spend your winter break applying if you're applying regular decision.
Okay, so for that or not that already, the timeline is that Common App, it's open in September. Oh, actually, we haven't even talked about Common App. Okay, so this is the process. This is the things that you should know. If you're not from an English-speaking country, or if you didn't do your high school in English, your transcripts are not in English. Well, not transcripts, but your record shows that you didn't have English that would allow you to transition into a school that does things in English. You need to do an exam that shows that you are proficient in the language. So, first thing, learn English and actually take the tests to test if you actually know English. No, guys, I mean, social media can make you feel like you know stuff. I was there, I thought I knew English, and the practices, I'm like, I have 100 men, like that's like mediocre or something. Anyway, so you need to do those tests, and after you've done your English proficiency tests, you need to consider doing the SAT, which is, what is it called? Like a college preparedness assessment, something of that type. Yeah, so that one is really helpful. It's not required by all the schools, but it's an additional thing that could. Yes, it can help your application stand out, especially if you have really high scores like our friend here who had 1520. So it's a good thing to take. And now, once you have those, here we'll talk about the next steps. So, where do you apply once you've done all of that? Well, for most schools, they use this common app. What's common app actually?
The common application.
It's just
the
called the
common
common
app.
app.
Yeah.
It's like a place where
Or
universities.
the coalition.
Coalition?
There's also, it's either common app or the coalition.
I don't know if the coalition.
Because
Guys,
not many people use it. Like, yeah, it also exists, just like saying.
Okay. So many schools have the same, like, they ask for the same things, like what extracurriculars are you involved in? What's your high school? Like, this info that you don't want to fill out every time you apply to a school, that common app gives you a space where you can put those, and then depending on what school you want to apply to, they will have some specific questions that are only asked by the school. How many schools did you apply to?
I applied to 20.
20? How many did you get into?
Yeah.
How much did you get? How many?
I applied to 18.
18? How many did you get into?
I got into one with like a bunch of wait lists.
And you?
I applied to 16. I got into 14.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes,
No one asked me, but I applied I applied to 8 and I got into 4.
You applied to 8? Wow.
All I
Such a
What?
Such as
No, I didn't apply to all Ivies.
Wait, I applied to all Ivies.
Really? I forgot.
All
about
Ivies?
Brown.
Oh my god,
No,
that's so mean.
I was like doing once and for all.
Wait, okay, that's kind of crazy. Okay, so what was your what schools did you apply to?
Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Duke, Dartmouth, Kobe.
Okay, did you apply like to smaller
Eastern,
schools, liberal
Northwestern.
arts? No, no. And any liberal arts schools?
Yes,
Kobe. Okay.
Colgate,
Okay.
Vanderbilt.
Oh God.
Yeah, but that's
Why are you
at
trying
the
to
top
tell
of
me?
my
What
head.
about you?
I applied
Any in
to
addition to those, or
like I just applied all Ivies, Stanford, and then NYU, Abu Dhabi. There was Borden College. That's like a small college.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I applied there too.
And then I also applied to Colgate, I think. And then there's that whole other bracket
Yeah,
that
yeah.
international
Yeah.
students can apply to
Yeah.
after the.
what about you?
Wait, I lied. I think I applied to 18. I got into
It's
14.
okay.
No, because I remember I got rejected from 4.
Okay.
Oh,
That, the math doesn't add up.
Okay.
I applied to Harvard, Yale,
All Ivies,
Columbia,
etc.
yeah, Columbia, UPenn, Northwestern, Mizzou, Duke, MIT, Emory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so which ones didn't you get into?
I didn't get into UPenn, Duke, MIT. I forgot. What's going on? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay, and I know which ones you didn't
Oh,
get
Stanford. I
into.
didn't get into that Stanford.
Okay.
But I knew I wasn't gonna get into it because I wrote in my supplemental application. It was like, "Why do you want to go here?" And I said something about never seeing a palm tree before, and, and I wrote that because there was nothing else I knew. Like I only applied. It was like, "Oh, you should apply." Okay, I applied, but I had no like connection to Stanford
or
whatsoever.
interest.
Oh wow, wait, that's so interesting. It's actually very interesting to see, like, I don't know, I feel like I meet many people that have gotten into like Harvard but they didn't get into other many schools, and I'm like, do you guys have any takeaways from your applications that you think like this is what I would prioritize if I were to do this again? Like any advice? Because I feel like just imagine a world where you didn't apply to Harvard and you applied to all the other schools and you didn't get into any. Like, what's something that you would tell yourself? Lean into a wait list?
I just like go for the wait list as well.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Okay, wait, I'll maybe like start us off to break the ice. I don't know if it's breaking the ice or what. I feel like for me, I did apply to some schools, but I feel like I was underselling myself in a sense of like,
Trying to be humble.
yeah, not trying to be humble, like trying to make myself a minority type thing. I don't know, guys, don't judge, because I don't know, it's like, oh yeah, guys, like, it was tough. I was like, I went to, like trying to, like yes, it was my story, but in my story, I wasn't projecting, like, this is actually, like, this is what makes my story valuable, but not just, like, telling you, like, yeah, this and that happened to me, but more on, like, this happened to me, but, like, this happened to me. It's different when you say, like, I was sick, and then when you say, like, I was sick, but, like, trying to tell that story on, like, something that shows who you are and not just something that shows what happened to you, but more on something that Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys have affirmative action? Was that still a thing? You guys
No.
applied? Okay, so when I applied, I still had that. So like, I feel like that changed the way that I constructed like my application essay, because I feel like by them taking it away, you had to like talk about that a lot if you wanted that to be considered, versus when they had it, it was like, okay, we understand your demographics and where you're come from. Like, we can see, which I don't know if they did, but we see even then, like, they did this with my high school. It's like, we see the neighborhood you're coming from, so we know sort of what your socioeconomic situation is. And so we factor that into your application without you having to say, yes, I'm a poor black woman, help me out. So, like, for me, I didn't have to talk about that in, like, my essays. And, like, I could put more effort into writing about sort of what I wanted to write about and highlighting the extracurriculars that had nothing to do with, like, race or gender or anything, but just things that I was interested in. And I had sort of was able to know, okay, that the rest of my demographic is being considered without that having to be all of my application in order for me to seem like a well-rounded applicant.
Okay. Interesting. Anyone else? Something else to add?
I don't know, for me, when I finished my application, it was genuinely about my interest and, like, you know, who I was as a person. So it was like, I don't really care about the colleges that take me or not, but like the one that takes me, I'll know that like I'm a perfect fit for that, because I am not like, I was like, I'm not like, this is what I want to submit and I'm not changing this. So like, if after this, like, if you don't accept me with this, then we're just not a perfect fit.
I love
So,
that.
like,
Ooh, you cooking.
Yeah.
You're cooking.
I was just like really comfortable with the application, and I was like, yeah, this is the
It's
application
me,
that I want to.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, this is the application I want to submit.
Yeah, wait, on that note, I feel like when I was applying, there was this like college essays website that I visited a lot. I remember wanting to apply to Caltech, and I want to like read like essays that got me into Caltech, and I'm reading like, this dude is talking about his research. I have no idea what research is. Like, bro, I didn't have no lab growing up. My school didn't have a lab. What research are you talking about? You didn't have no professors. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I feel like one of the things that is really discouraging is trying to go around and like read like perfect essays. Like, that's those people. And I feel like, as she was saying, like when schools are reading your applications, they're not like trying to compare you with everyone else. They're just, I think something that I don't know if it's an admission officer told us, like when I was in my first year, he was like, what you want to see is who you are as a person and how you have used the resources that are presented to you. So like, you have things like, even don't think that your story is too small. Don't undersell yourself and be like, I'm just like, you know, a kid from Burundi, I'm just a kid from whatever. Like, actually, like, your story can make even like, it can show resilience, it can show so many things. I remember like writing my essays. I wrote one essay on like, my mom used to own a hair salon, and I talked about how I enjoyed doing hair. And it's like, I don't know, I've never thought that someone could write like, bro, like, who cares that you like doing hair? But like, I had a way to talk about it that actually showed my interest in doing hands-on. And I think if I were to read my application essays, they'd say like, she wants to study mechanical engineering, and you can see that with what she has. She's already using her hands to like, you know, do stuff. And that's like, it's you. Don't try to look at like what other people have done that seem cool and you try to do the same thing. Just take your story and let it be what you present to them.
I feel like I also kind of like agree with that in a way, because I think one of the reasons I didn't apply to Harvard early was because when I went to, like, when you go to like websites, okay, like we had texts and like their like former essays, and then like all the Harvard essays were like from students who were like, oh, I was doing research, or like we discovered this, or we were working in the lab, or we were curing cancer, or something like that. I was like, I don't think this is just not them. But I think this is like too top tier for me, so I kind of like pinned that off. But then I feel like after I was deferred in like early decision from the first school I applied to, then I was like, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to like, I applied to Princeton early.
Okay.
And I was deferred.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what, I don't think I like care anymore. I'm just like going to craft my own, just like my own, yeah.
Yeah.
Just like just like being true to yourself and I don't know, resonating with like the experiences that you've had and how you've taken advantage of like the resources around you.
Yeah. So that's something.
For me, what I have to add is if you try to like tailor your essay to fit a specific school, it's going to come out worse for you than if you just try to be yourself in the essence. Because for me, the first school I applied to was Duke. I applied to it as in the university. Yeah. I tried to tailor my personal statement to fit with the statement, like the mission of Duke. And then it came and I got rejected. And like Garvin said, I just didn't care anymore. I just wrote whatever.
Yeah. So, do you guys think we're forgetting something? Is there any information that?
Oh yeah, I feel like. Well, have you talked about like the extra requirements, like recommendation letters?
Oh, okay.
Interviews.
See, that's why I like. That's why I like having people around me, guys. Okay, so we've already talked about like what do you have to do, Common App. So now you're on Common App. Other things that are required is you submit, like you have to have someone to write you a letter of recommendation. Usually someone that you're close to and someone that is actually willing to write something nice for you, something like get someone that knows you and wants to like talk about who you are. So definitely do that. It's usually a teacher. Yeah, actually just teachers, right?
Yeah, you can have teachers. You have to have a counselor, the school counselor.
Oh wait, what about people that are applying without like from countries that don't have like this college prep type thing?
Yeah,
or
then
who is a school counselor?
The school counselor can be anyone from like the school administration.
Okay.
Just like someone who has like access to your academic records.
Okay.
They have to submit those.
Okay.
And then for some colleges they have like extra like the optional recommendation letters where you can like submit a recommendation letter from like your employer or like your coach, clergy member. There's like a whole list of like.
Okay.
You can also like have a recommendation letter from your peers.
Yeah.
I remember the peer recommendation, but yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
think
your
that's
friend
what
can write
asks
a
for
recommendation
that.
letter about you. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your recommendation was one of the ones I submitted. Yeah. So there's like after the major ones like the teachers and then the counselor, then there's like that whole other bracket of like different people that could write more information about you.
Okay. Well, also a question I forgot to ask. Did you do any program after high school or did you just apply?
But I didn't do a program specifically, but I was working on the foundation back in Ghana. We were helping people apply to colleges.
Okay, so they also helped you apply? Okay, did you?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't do a program, but I was part of programs. I was with Education USA Uganda, which was helping out, and then there was also like Equity Group Foundation, Equity Leaders Program.
Okay.
So, like,
Okay, I've heard that many Kenyans do that.
yeah,
right?
it was like it's based. Yeah, it's like originally from Kenya, but then it was spreading out to like East Africa.
Okay. I also did a program, and you said you did a prep school.
Yeah, I went to a college prep school, but it was a Catholic school, and so I was also a part of a scholarship program called Link Unlimited Scholars, and it's for Black high school students in Chicago who go to like private and Catholic school, and so they gave us scholarships to attend those schools, and then we also had like program that we had to like attend throughout high school and like preparing us for college and interviews and all that. So it was like a 4-year program all throughout high school.
Okay. So I do know a few people that weren't involved in anything, but it's very few because I don't think that it's something to actually take very seriously. Like, I know, like, okay, some people, it's like close people to me, they'd be like, Faith, now, like, help me apply to Harvard. I'm like, I spent 17 months trying to do this, so I'm not gonna help you in 1 hour, bro. Like, it's a time commitment. So if you really wanna do it, think about it as business. You just don't wake up and be like, here's the money, give me profits. No, you have to put in the work, like actual work. And simple Google search can do a lot. Just try and find information online. I feel like try to find information, things that you can find online. try to find them online, because if you go like text your friend that is abroad who is fighting with finding time to like even reach out back and you're asking them a question as basic as where do I submit my Harvard application, like come on, that can be on Google. You can use that time. You can use that time to ask other questions that could be like, like give me a syllabus of this class because that's something that I can access and you can't. And by the way, all these people go to Harvard, so try to use your connections in a way that also motivates them to actually help you or respond to the message as necessary.
Do you have any recommended websites or things? You said, because I have.
You
I know
have?
some website.
Okay, tell us.
Oh, do you have any first?
I haven't applied in so long. I'm like,
Do you remember any?
No, I just remember like Googling, like I just did a simple Google and like went on college, guys. I used Grammarly a lot when I was typing. I don't know, is it acceptable now?
James Grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know with the AI, guys, don't ChatGPT.
Do not use
Do
AI.
not
at
use
all.
AI to write your essays. It's just now where this bro like AI is not gonna do assignments if you get into Harvard.
That's
Like
like an automatic.
yeah. Which
Yeah,
is
I'm saying that's like an automatic rejection.
yeah, it is an automatic rejection. It's so easy to see something that is written by AI, especially like for me. I remember I was reading my essays and I was like, oh, this was a typo. Like when I was reading after, and I was like, it's actually perfect because it's a typo and I'm not from an English speaking country. My English doesn't have to be like my essay doesn't have to be like English, like heavy, whatever, because I don't have that English. That's not me. I speak simple English, so there's no reason for you to fight like to find the perfect. Like I don't know what's the heavy words that people use. Give me some scholars. Give me.
I don't know.
Okay, so see, we are all simple people. We don't use those.
So
strong-
you use the words, but they don't seem strong to you.
Well, maybe, yeah. Okay. So, any advice that? Wait. So, did you cover everything?
Interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, interviews. I don't know. I interviewed with Harvard and MIT. I have a friend that interviewed with UPenn. I don't know if does everyone have to do an interview or
Yes. Like
Yes?
For most international students.
Okay.
Like the interview counts a lot. Just
okay.
But then I feel like for some schools they don't really. I feel like schools have like the reports on how they value interviews differently.
Okay.
So like I feel like some schools value interviews more than other schools. Like some schools
Is that like the
assign
interview that the
interviews
school
specifically.
actually calls you to do, or you can ask alumni interview? What interview are you talking about?
Yeah.
the alumni interviews that are
Formal or
Yeah.
informal?
formal. That,
Okay.
That you are invited to. Not
Okay. Because I do know that there was this thing where you get to talk to someone at the school, but it doesn't count towards your application. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Did you guys do that?
I mean, I mostly have experience only this place happen.
Okay.
I didn't interview anyone.
Okay, because there's another option where you get to talk to students at the school. You can schedule a meeting and
Oh yeah.
they talk to you about the school. But I didn't do it. Did you do
I did
it?
that.
I've done it as one of the people to talk to.
Okay.
Like my first year, I
Okay.
was signed up.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so that's also a resource that you can use if you have a school that you really want to hear about. I mean, don't do it just because you want to like add an extra thing on your application. I don't think it really counts like that. But if it's a school that you like, I really need to learn more and I need guidance, it's a good thing that you can use before your application, before you submit your application. Yeah, so they will call you for an interview if they liked what they've read so far. They'll call you for an interview, and they will invite you for an interview.
Email you.
Oh, email you for an
Notify you
interview.
that
Oh
you have an
God.
interview.
Yeah, guys, my interview was so chill, bro. Like it was very chill. I don't know. We're literally talking about how my the person that was interviewing me, he was a Harvard alum, so. I was telling, he was like, he was asking me the things that I do for fun and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I have my mom in her hair salon. And she was like, oh my God. He was like, my mom was also a hairdresser, and we just bonded over that, and they're like, wow, like, how was that? Things like, so take it as like, don't, well, definitely prepare and be ready to answer to some questions, but don't overcomplicate it. Like, take it as a conversation rather than an interview. Because at the end of the day, bro, like, there's nothing you can really say that can really, well, there's something you can say that can really impress them, but trust. They know way, like, they know that people went to Artemis or whatever. Like, those are things that they know already. So there's very few things you can say to, like, that they're like, wow, like, you're the best person I've ever met. But a conversation can stay with them longer than your accomplishments can stay with them, type thing. Anything else you guys want to add?
Yeah, I'd say the one thing I wanted to add is the interview counts for a lot, actually.
Oh yeah, it does.
I don't know if you guys, when you got in, you requested your
Yes.
You did?
application profile.
I did.
That interview, my interview saved my whole life. Like, if it wasn't for that interview, I would not be here.
Oh.
Genuinely, like, most of my points came from my interviewer. And, like, the people who read my application was kind of like, she's okay. And my interviewer was like, she's great. And, like, kind of really boosted my application.
Okay.
So when I read for me, I had two interviews, right? I had an alumni interview and had an interview with the admissions office. Really? Yeah. So, and when I had my alumni interview, it didn't go great. I was stuttering. I don't know. I didn't come across as how I wanted to, right? And it reflected in the admissions report. When I got it, I had a bad rating on the admissions report. Right? But I think the admissions officers, they liked me. So they invited me for a second interview. And I had a good rating on that.
Oh yeah, I feel like one of my friends also had like 2 interviews, one with the admissions officer and one with an alumni interviewer. I feel like when the one with the alumni interviewer kind of doesn't go well, but the admissions officer is still like interested in you, they will push for another one. Yeah. But then I agree with what you said. I feel like the interview is fundamental, but then it's like mostly to vet like your personality and stuff. So like properly kind of like relating with the interviewer and not being too stressed or not wanting to overly impress, but kind of like removing the pressures and like being yourself. It really counts a lot because like you've already reflected all your achievements and your extra
they're already on there. Give them
application.
New
So they want to see what's different about you or what will you add to like the school community, or are you a person who can like relate with other people? So I feel like that interview is a great place to kind of like showcase the personality. And just like enjoying the interview, because at that point you're either there or not there. So you might as well. I remember just like doing myself, this is the last interact. If I'm rejected from the school, this is my last interaction at the school. I might as well like just like enjoy myself and give it up longer. So I was just like there, engaging with my interview and trying to also be interested in like the interviewer, interested in their life, not just like
you gotta ask
asking one. Yeah, you also have to ask them questions so that you're genuinely interested in them. And I just like cracking jokes with my interview and we all laugh.
Are you in touch with them?
Not really.
Who is it?
It was a female Harvard alum from Tanzania. She was from
Tanzania. Oh, nice. Any last things you want to say? I don't know. Is there anything? Any last thoughts? Any last thing?
I would say when I was like, if you can do fly-in programs, those are cool because I think they're happening like the fall of your senior year. It's basically you apply and like the colleges will fly you out to their schools for a couple days so you can learn about their schools. You sleep over at like the students' rooms and like you get to eat in their dining halls. You get to drop in on certain classes and you kind of get to like experience what the school is like for 2 or 3 days. And so I did one for MIT, Columbia, and Johns Hopkins. And like even within that, you meet a lot of people who also do those same ones and you kind of like form a bond with other people who are also applying. I also did Questbridge. I didn't get matched to a school, but that helped me also like form my application and like get an understanding of how, because that's like an early process. And then for Questbridge, I did that early and ranked the schools. I didn't get matched, so I still had to apply regular decision. But I think if you do a program like that, it'll help you sort of form your regular decision application because you kind of know how the process goes. website recommendation. There's this one article I read on this website called Prep Scholar, and it was about like your big spike. And I kind of like really took that to sort of how I formed my entire application. It was kind of just basically telling you like it's nice to be well-rounded, but like to also, if you have a passion for something, like show that passion, and like also show how different attributes in other sectors form into you having that passion. So if you're passionate, like you said, about engineering, okay, doing things that are hands-on, even if they're not engineering, there are things that show she's a good person at being hands-on, she's a good person at planning, if you're good at organizing. So find all of your like good attributes that you have like as a part of your personality and sort of formulate that in a way of sort of what you want to do when you're in college, what you want to study, or what your dreams and aspirations are. So you don't have to have done research, you don't have to have like been in like this crazy program, but if you're doing like, if you're a part of an organization in school where you're the treasurer and you're really good at organizing, okay, and you like finance, there you go. You don't have to have worked at like a banking thing before. Like, you don't have to do all these big name brand things in order to formulate your application, but really highlighting the attributes that you know that you have and things that you're good at into sort of what you want to do in your future, like, and like showcasing that in your application and in your interview, I think are really good things to help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I feel like also kind of like getting acquainted with the schools is really important. Like actually going to the school websites and like spending some time like looking into the school that you want to apply to, other than like focusing on the name or something, is like something essential. Because I remember I spent a lot of time like just reading student stories, like the articles students write about like the spaces they're in, and kind of like trying to see if that matches my vibe, or like, because like sometimes I feel like people put out like their genuine interest out of the picture and be like, I just want to get into the school. But then it's not worth it to get into the school if you would actually not like match the school, if that makes sense. So like taking some time to see what facilities does the school have, that also helps you to kind of like have an informed application, or you've taken your time researching the school. Yeah.
What's the minimum time someone should spend on a college application?
Is there one?
Is there a minimum time? I don't think there's a minimum time.
Oh, I mean, like, come on. Obviously, 1 hour is very little.
1 day.
1 day? So 24 hours?
Like on a college?
On a
Like
full college
drafting the application?
No, writing the final
Oh.
essay, everything.
Oh, that's a whole month process.
No, it says.
Yeah, that sounds
Come
like,
on.
is there a
You know,
minimum?
Well, maybe that's
I feel
another
like
question.
one
That's
thing
another
to like
question.
avoid is submitting like at the last minute, maybe like, yeah, don't submit at 11:59. If you can avoid submitting at 11:59. I submitted mine on like the deadlines, but not at the final hour.
Yeah, like I would like finish it and then like just wait a couple days
Yeah.
and like go back and read it. Like, oh, is there a typo? Is there anything else that I want to like talk about that I forgot? So I would say start early and like have your first draft and like continually read back on it from
Yeah.
like a third person point of view up until as close to the deadline as you feel comfortable submitting it by.
Yeah. And do you guys like, what about portfolio and all those kind of stuff? No?
I didn't
Some
do
people do like
portfolio.
portfolio and all that. Okay.
We never talk about what we studied. They don't even know like who we are.
Oh God, guys, this is so bad. Okay, wait, who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
I'm Anicia. I'm a junior, and I study biomedical engineering and neuroscience. And after graduating, I would like to pursue a PhD program in either or. And I'm interested in rehabilitation devices. Rehabilitation devices. That's okay. You.
Hi, I'm Garvin. I'm a freshman at the college, and I'm thinking of studying mechanical engineering. Yeah, that's it for now.
Where are you from?
Oh, I'm from Uganda.
Uganda?
I'm from America. I'm from Chicago.
This was the first time you ever said you're from America.
Well, that's because I'm sitting where everyone else
Yeah,
is
right.
in America. I mean, they obviously know that because they hear me speak, but I did have to say it.
She's from Chicago.
Hey.
Best city in America.
Yes.
No, we'll talk about that.
Hi, my name is Kwame. I'm from Ghana.
Ghana.
I study applied math and CS. Yeah.
So guys, we wish you the best of luck in your applications. And this is just for college. We obviously are college students. We don't have info. Well, we would have info in masters because we should be thinking about that, some of us.
Some of us.
Yeah. So good luck. And if you have more questions, leave them in the comments and share this to your friends and encourage them to apply. and find people to talk to about their passions. All right, thank you guys.
Bye.